Hi, good day to you and welcome to my channel where I tutor you in science for free. The topic in this video will be
Alkanes. Alkanes are molecules that only contain hydrogen and carbon. That's why it's called a hydrocarbon. And the special thing about it is that it only has single covalent bonds all around it. So below is a table of several very common alkanes, and they are all in the same homologous series because of these properties. They all have the same functional group or the lack thereof because they all have the same structure, all having single covalent bonds. They participate in similar chemical reactions, therefore they have similar properties, chemical properties, and showing gradual change going down the list of their physical properties. They also have the same general formula and differ with the next member by a CH2 unit. So these are some of the properties of homologous series that applies to the other classes as well, like alkenes, alcohols, carboxylic acids, which we'll cover in future videos. So there are several ways to draw organic molecules. So there's some molecular formula, there's structural formula, there's also full structural formula. Full structural formula is also known as the displayed formula, so where every single bond has to be drawn. So this you have to take note of. And because they're all in single bonds, it is called saturated hydrocarbon. Saturated means the bonds are fully occupied. It's full house. There are also things like unsaturated, where we will cover that in alkenes in the next video. So good exercise is to learn how to draw them, the electronic structure, the full electronic structure of valence shell, know and see how many electrons are participating in each bond. So every single bond has two participating electrons in that bond. One from hydrogen, one from carbon, for example in this one. And next we'll talk about isomerism. Isomerism is having the same chemical formula but different structural formula. Mainly this is done by branching. And the branches, usually if it is mainly just hydrocarbon, often the case in secondary level with quite an alkyl groups, the branched out chain will be called a side chain. And of course it's with respect to the longest chain first. The longest chain is the one where we call it the main chain. Then of course the branched out chain with this one carbon is called methyl and ethyl and so on and so forth. You know the rest. Just make sure that the side chain is always shorter than the main chain. So properties of alkanes going down the group, they are insoluble. Their melting point, boiling points increase as their molecular size increase because they will have more intermolecular forces of attraction between molecules. More energy is required to overcome them. They get more dense. They get more viscous because of all the attractions that's going on, and they get less flammable down the group because it's difficult to release the carbon to meet the oxygen molecules. So as the molecular size increase, they produce smokier flames because the carbon of the incomplete combustion of carbon, the carbon is very difficult to catch on the fire and the oxygen. Okay, so pretty simple so far. Next we go on to combustion. This is also pretty straightforward. I mentioned in previous video all the hydrocarbons, organic chemistry, when they undergo combustion, they will just produce carbon dioxide and water. So without putting any coefficient, you just have to balance it. So if any question gets you to use carbon monoxide as a product because of incomplete combustion, you just have to also balance it accordingly. So it's pretty simple. Because of its stable structure, alkanes, they have only single bonds, pretty strong, stable, difficult to break, so they are relatively unreactive. But with some encouragement, for example, UV light, substitution reactions can occur. So substitution reactions, I like to call it the football substitution. Usually the match official will carry a board with some LED lights, and one person goes in, one person comes out. So it's the same over here with the light that's over there. One person goes in, one person goes out. And it can carry on and on and on. So all the bonds are substituted. So that's all for alkanes. It's a pretty straightforward chapter. I'll see you in the next one.
And that is all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Do give it a like and subscribe and share it with somebody who needs to see this. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye.